Howdy do, y'all. I had a request to explain how to use OnTarget and how it aids analyzing groups. So I'm just gonna, I just got a fresh key on this new computer, so I'm just gonna go through and configure it how I've preferred it so far, and just demonstrate on an example target, and I'll try to explain a bunch of the terms and such and how to go about it. So first, I want to get rid of, I think it's this toolbar. That's to make this window bigger. And that'll matter towards the end. So view, main toolbar gone. Let me go ahead and check over here. I was using 30 caliber in the example target at 100 yards. Um, you can make notes on like there and there. Um, I usually do that stuff in the file names, or I go ahead and put photos and such in either Word document or uh, in a range report on forums and such. I just go ahead and write my thoughts down there. Um, see display options. Okay, this is extreme spread. This marks the line between the two shot holes that are farthest apart. That makes a rectangle around the widest points of the group and the tallest points of the group. Mean radius, that is the average distance the shot holes are from the center of the entire group. I'm not sure about those yet. Target info. Okay, again, this is just notes. Um, that seems new. Anyway, I don't usually bother with this. I don't think. Make sure. Nope. I think we're ready to go. So all I've done is I take pictures of my targets at the range, or at home. I don't use a scanner. At least I haven't tried it yet. I haven't bothered with it. But it's basically going to do the same thing as just taking a picture with your phone. So open image. I'm going to start with, let's see, yep, that's the first one in the chronology. So let me make sure I got my holes, all of my holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I got 10 on paper, so I can measure these reasonably well. So I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to measure my reference point, which is the X ring. On the SR target, or SR1, the X ring is 1.35 inches in diameter. So I'm going to go to this. Actually, I need to zoom in a little more. Preferably, you want to get a little bit closer, and also when you're shooting photos, press the trigger. I didn't get this one quite square, so it's a little lopsided, but I try to use the actual letter X as a guide for straightness. About there, 1.35. Then when you go to options, oh, I forgot about this. I need to set this up. Okay. Boundary lines. I think that's like the rectangle. I think I usually used a bright blue for that. I think I left the widths as they were. Hole color, yeah, I just stuck with red. You will want movable group text after you have marked your groups or your shot holes in your group. Custom group text. Okay, you will want the extreme spread, mean radius. You don't really have to have the width and height of the group, but I like that. And then the offset from your aiming point. And options in here, I use standard units, so inches, MOA. I don't think I draw an inner circle. It's just too busy, or it just kind of, they all blend together. Oh wow, it saved that. Usually I have to come in here and change this manually. Trying to remember what the crosshair size was. I think it was 4, like, yes, thank you. 4 like the others. Okay, back to what I was doing. Okay, so we marked that 1.35 inches. Now the computer has a reference for making 30 caliber holes. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit since this is a large group. Okay, now we go up here. This is what we use to mark the holes. And frankly, with a group this large, you can stay zoomed out a bit and it's not going to matter much. When you get tighter groups, you got to zoom in a bit so you can actually see kind of the quote grease unquote ring. Might help if you lower the sensitivity of your mouse as well. I will say it's advisable to do the closer clusters of shots first and then work your way out, because otherwise if you go like from over here to and then skip over the tighter cluster and do an outlier one, these lines can kind of interfere with your marking the cluster. Don't get too picky about being pixel perfect. A while back on the 1 MOA all day challenge on AR15.com, several guys would measure the same target. And I think they had a variation of about, I think it was about 100th of an inch. Maybe no, I don't think it was quite a 10th. Yeah, I think it was about 100th. Where's my last hole? Oh, there it is. I fired 10 shots in this string. And here I go being pixel perfect. Because I can actually see the ring on this one, the grease. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get off that tool so I don't click anywhere else. Actually, I guess I should, so I can show you how to move and delete holes. So whether you make a mistake and accidentally like click out here, or you didn't quite get lined up on a hole well, go and get out of that tool and then go to this one. So you can pick that one up and reposition it like that. Or if you select the tool, select your hole. If you want to delete it, just press. I thought it was that wasn't delete. Press backspace. Just press delete. Yeah, just select the hole, press delete. It's gone. Okay, now I need to mark my aiming point. Which is usually where you want to be zeroed. Actually, oh crap. I want to zoom in a little. Okie doke. That's just telling you backed out as far as you can go. Usually I go ahead and click zoom to window. Let's see. Yeah, the reason I got rid of that toolbar up here in the beginning is because it makes the photo. I started to gesticulate with my hands. It makes the photo fit the window better. And to save the files, we'll go to Save View as a graphic. We're not going to do that just yet. Now, some groups you'll want to move this text just to keep the attention more on, or keep a separate attention on the group than an attention on the numbers. So let's just go there. Oop. It seems to matter where you click. You have to click on the top left of that field. But as you can see, the extreme spread, or max, is 16.5 inches across, which is almost 16 MOA. And that's because 1 MOA is actually 1.047 inches. It adds up. That 500s adds up. The mean radius, which is, like I said, the average distance the holes are from the center of the group. It's 4.6 MOA, and that's from center there, center of the group out there. The width and height, and that's the rectangle. Then the offset from your zero, or your aiming point. So that's from there to there. Okay, so with all this done so far, how does OnTarget help analyze groups? Well, of course, most of the time people refer to the extreme spread, which is the distance between the widest two shots of a group, which is there to there in this example. It doesn't really tell you a whole lot. On AR15.com and a couple other sites, Molon has several good articles just in general. But he explains mean radius very well and how it is better than extreme spread because it accounts for all shots, or 90-95% of shots in a group versus just two. You can have two identical groups in extreme spread. In this case, let's just call that 16 MOA. But if all those we're a lot closer together, the mean radius gets tighter, but the extreme spread doesn't change. If all these shots were closer together, wouldn't that mean it's a better load or a better performance? Before I got OnTarget, usually what I would look for, is, at least in load testing or very supported shooting, is the elevation spread. Because at longer distance, your elevation spread increases much more, assuming there's no external weather factors. And kind of paired with that, but unrelated to the visual, is velocity spread, especially standard deviation. But in this example, obviously I had a lot better windage control than I did elevation. Just let you know, this was shooting a M1 Garand with a straight pull load and a normal power load with a 6 MOA sight change in between. And I shot these 10 in about a minute worth of shooting. I think I'll have a video coming up on it soon. Okay, so after you've done all your marking and maneuvering and whatnot, now you need to save the file. So I think I mentioned earlier, pretty much zoom to window, file, save view as graphic. I usually go ahead and just take the original file